for the money, don't do it for the fame. Some of y'all don't even know my name. I do this for my regulars, on the secular, keep me on my toes feeling spectacular. Don't do it for the money, don't do it for the fame. Some of y'all don't even know my name. I do this for my regulars, on the secular, keep me on my toes feeling spectacular. I'm carving out a lane where the echoes never fade. Pages of my past and the lines that I've laid. Let the record spin, hear the scratches in my soul. Every flaw,
What's up? It's your boy, the Kim's 4N. Sorry, I paused there because I'm like, what's my name again? But yo, what up? It's the Blood Pursuit. We all up in the eardrums. And I got my dude, Flavius. What's cracking, bro?
Everything's cracking. The sky is cracking. Actually, the wind is blowing. It's a beautiful sunny day down here in Central Texas. Everything is going to be all right.
Sorry, y'all. I have not had any coffee yet.
No coffee?
I know, right? You're like, what the hell?
Brother, what's 911's number? We got to get you fixed up.
But nah, man, that's how hyped up I get, man, when we come on these shows, man, because
Good.
we've had some good episodes, but hope you're doing good. How you doing, though, man?
Doing great. Had just like kind of a mellow morning. Power was out last night, but they got all that fixed up during the night while I slept, and everything is fine.
Yes, sir. So, hey, like I said, y'all, we are on Spotify, Amazon, Apple by the time this episode comes out, and we hope you've been enjoying the episodes that we've been putting out, and keep a lookout, y'all, for ways to donate to the show. So it'll be in the show notes, and if you guys want to throw a couple bucks here and there, that would be deeply appreciated. It's Kims4N is my email address. Yours, bro?
Mine is BRADFORD.TRAINHAM Bradford.trainham@gmail.com.
So before we get to the main crux, we got a guest coming on later on in the second hour, but let's roll into the segment I like to call Thoughts from the Chamber.
Oh, yeah. Open the door. Let's go in.
Yeah, man. So I want to get your thoughts on this, but let's try not to go down a rabbit hole. But before I start with that, remember a couple of weeks ago we talked about, you mentioned actually about coming across a possum?
Oh, yeah.
So,
I touched him.
Now, what sound does oh no, you told me, right? Even ChatGPT told me they do a hissing sound. That's what they do when they get scared, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I was watching my show the other day. And speaking of shows, I did not know, because I'm not dependent on Siri, right? So I was like, how do I pause this stream? So I'm on internet searching and stuff. I didn't want to swipe all over and hear voiceover. Then I'm like, oh, wait, you could use Siri. Hey, Siri, pause stream. I'm like, oh, my Lord, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not dependent on that virtual secretary, man. I try to be independent, do things on my own. You know what I mean?
Good.
But back to that though, I stepped out. So it was about like 9:30 at night. And I stepped out. I lit up my cigarette and as I crossed the threshold to get out the house, I take 2 steps out the front door. I hear a meow. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Scared the bejesus out of me, so I just ran into the house. Well, I put my cigarette out real quick and then I ran to the back. But my point is, when you can't see what's out there, because it was pitch black, bro, it just scared the crap out of me. So that cat, I'm assuming it was a cat, bro.
Yeah.
But I ain't going to stop and investigate, because if I would have stepped further and further and further, you know, the mofo probably would have jumped on me or something, but I ain't checking.
Could have been one of those wild cats. Yeah, you never know.
And I'm like, dude, what is up with all these damn animals, bro? Coming to my front porch, there's always a cat. Like on my previous house that I used to own, there was dogs galore. Everywhere.
Yeah.
Across the street, down the street, behind your house, to the side of your house. I'm like, my goodness. That reminds me though, one time I went to the store, right? before I left for work. I went to go get a pack of cigarettes, and then I'm walking back, and then I hear some footsteps on my side, and I can't see out of my right eye.
Yeah.
So I'm just walking and walking and walking, and I keep hearing the pitter patter of footsteps, and I look to my right. There's a big ass dog, man, just walking next to me. Normally I get scared when there's another dog, but I'm like, especially one that I don't know. And I'm like, okay, just stay calm, blah, 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 so this mofo won't attack you. So I get to the corner, the dog stops with me. I cross, and it crosses with me.
Shadow dog, yeah.
It just keeps walking with me and like, hey, what's up, bro? So I get to the
Yeah.
house and I'm waiting for the bus. My father-in-law at the time, he's like, hey, man, how's Precious doing? Because I had a lab. That dog that followed me home looked just like Precious. And I was about to
Wow.
yell at her like, man, what you doing? Come following me to the store. Could have got hit
Yeah.
by a car, blah, 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 blah. And then how I found out it wasn't her is because, one, I saw her in the backyard. I'm like, huh? How can you be
Yeah.
staring up here?
Yeah.
And then my ex-father-in-law, he walks to the front gate, and then the dog lunged. I'm like, oh no, that ain't Precious. Oh, who the hell is that?
Wow. Yeah. Have you ever been attacked by a dog?
Not once. I mean, not attacked. It just bit me. It was one of those ankle.
Ooh. Sorry. Yeah.
I was
What-
walking to work, and my ex, we were going through a divorce.
Yeah.
We were arguing. And I don't know, I have this habit of looking down at my phone when I'm texting, like I can see when I'm writing, I
Yeah.
have a habit of text, like I said, doing all that. And then next thing you know, out of the corner, boom, this dog just came out and just nipped the hell out of me. Then I just started going Kung Fu Panda on it with the cane and stuff. And it just stood there like, I dare you, hit me. Little ankle biters, man, they got guts, bro. They ain't afraid of nothing.
They are. Yeah. It's almost like the smaller the dog, the more vicious, or the more he's willing to act like he's tough.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's my stories, man, about that. But the one that I want to get your opinion on, this lady, I reached out to her to get her on the show, but she just listened to my voicemail and, as the kids say, left me on red. So
Yeah.
she didn't respond, so I'm like, okay, move on. But she's on my Facebook page, and I don't know what you want to call it, but some people might call her bitter or whatever. But one thing I want to get your opinion on, she went off about how blind people need to be independent. I get it. We all do, right? But the story was, it was on, you may have heard about it, Southwestern Airlines. 2 blind passengers were left on the plane because they did not know it was time to leave the plane. And she was like, good Lord, have some independence, have some common sense. The plane is empty. Why you gotta wait for people to come get you? You need to show some independence.
Well, I guess I can see both sides of that,
Me too.
because when you fly, you do got to do the best you can to pay attention. Now, if they had a hearing issue, then that's different, because they might not realize what's going on. But otherwise, when I fly, I mean, I'm like on hyper alert. Now, that's just me. I don't particularly enjoy flying, but when I do,
How many times have you flown?
man, I don't know, many times. When I lived in Washington, when I lived in Virginia and worked in Washington, D.C., I was flying a lot because we went to see the in-laws in Texas, my parents in Alabama, and all that was flying. And then whenever I went to a class for work, we'd fly out to like Laguna Niguel, the IRS site out there in Orange County, California. So lots of different places. But when I fly, that's like kind of a big deal to me, because I do try to pay attention. And I don't think I've ever had a situation happen to me like that. I've always known, because when people start getting off, it would be hard for me to understand how you wouldn't know that you were on the ground. But, I don't know the story of the two people on Southwest, and they might have had circumstances that prevented them from realizing what was going on. So I don't know. I would be hesitant to come down hard either way on that.
I don't fly a lot, never flew a lot because I can't afford it. But every time I have, even when I'm on not even like in a classroom setting, whatever the case may be, I always wait for the whole crowd to leave first.
That's right. And then you start walking out.
I don't want to be caught up in the crowd. That's why, because I am introverted, and I don't know, maybe it's undiagnosed anxiety disorder or something, but just being in the middle of a crowd, I'm like, take me away.
Yeah, I don't like that feeling either of being like sandwiched in. But if you do exactly what you're saying, if you wait, but then, you got your folding cane, you whip that thing out and you start walking up, they're going to see you as you get closer to the front of the plane, and they're going to want to make sure you're all right. But see, all of those services on the airlines have deteriorated. Like back in the 80s, if you let them know you needed assistance, you were suddenly the king of the airplane. They made sure you knew where everything was, and they came by and they personally demonstrated the oxygen mask coming down and the barf bag in the seat pocket in front of you and all this other stuff. They had Braille materials for your leisure and reading pleasure while you flew. But as it's gotten on into like the 90s and the 2000s, all that stuff has fallen by the wayside. Airlines are in it for the money, and that is it. They cram more people into less space, and they don't really care a lot. If you got issues, that's your problem to fix. So I don't particularly enjoy flying, but when I do, I try to be on full-on alert because you don't ever know what might happen.
I think that's why I don't like to fly when it's dark, because the vision I have, I don't know how to explain this, but like if it's dark, I'm like, okay, is everybody gone yet? Or am I supposed to stick the can on the aisle and then, I'm not tripping anybody anymore, so I guess everybody's gone. But yeah, man, she has a really strong opinion about being independent, which is cool. But like I said, man, for her to come be like, stop being lazy. You're not special. You need to show that you have common sense. Like you mentioned hearing a moment ago.
Yeah.
Because she mentioned just start walking and following the sound where people are going. I'm like, what if you got a hearing problem?
Yeah, if you can't do that, you can't do that. Plus, it's like we were saying, I think a few episodes back, blind people tend to be the worst critics of other blind people. So, without knowing the specifics of the story, I wouldn't come down one way or the other.
Yeah, but she linked to the article, but I had to get to the show here, so I didn't read it.
Yeah, but yeah, flying for me is intense. I don't do it any more than I have to, but sometimes I have to.
Man, if I have to fly anywhere, all I know is that the destination that I'm going to better have some good food.
All right.
Yeah, man.
That's a good criteria.
Nah, man, because if I'm going to have my anxiety go through the roof and all this and that, better have some yummy stuff, man, to calm me down by the time I get to the other side, so to speak.
Good. All right. That's fair enough.
So any thoughts from you about anything and everything before we close up the chamber?
Man, everything is all right with me today. I'm going to see my daughter later. We're going to go run a couple of errands real quick. She's coming into Austin. And aside from that, it's just like I was saying, it's kind of a sunny, mellow day. And yes, the electricity is on. So I'm happy.
What he's referring to, folks, is because you guys don't know that we record episodes ahead of time. And last night, as of this recording, he had intermittent connectivity issues. So
Big ones. I would have not have been able to pull this off.
yeah, but we're here. We're gonna do our thing. So let's get up out of here from this chamber. Unless you got anything else you want to say about this
I'm,
and the other.
I'm good. I'm good. Let's go. Let's do this.
So today we're going to be talking about AI, artificial intelligence, and that's what our guest that's coming up, quote unquote, specializes in. So we're going to do a couple of demonstrations of our own. Copilot is what I use on Windows. Some people use Gemini. I got Gemini on my phone, but I just don't use it because, like I've said before, I'm a computer dude. But yeah, so I'm pretty sure by the time this show is out, everyone and their mama knows what AI is. But if you haven't, here's a chance to see what's up. So I'm gonna turn on my JAWS, 'cause that's what I use.
Full speech.
I'm gonna open up Copilot,
Search box edit. Copilot app. Press right to view option. Enter.
and it always says, I swear, man, like JAWS has like a ADD problem, man. Like no window focus or whatever, not in focus.
My notes is Copilot.
Jaws is not
Copilot.
coming
Ask
through
anything. Edit.
right
This is a
now.
multi-line text box.
All right, so here we go. I'm gonna. What should I type in, bro?
Open chat mode menu combos. Ask
What are
anything.
you
Edit.
looking for? Flying with assistance?
Let me think. And you know, the thing is, sometimes AI isn't up to date. And what I mean by
Yeah.
that is, I used to use Goldwave for podcast editing, and it gave me keystrokes. I'm like, that didn't work. You're fired. So let me see. I'm gonna type in.
How? Do. I.
Oops, my caps lock on.
Caps lock off.
Yeah, it is. I would have been screaming at Copilot. Hey!
Stay. Stay. O. D.
Drive
O.
this
H.
thing,
Blank. Blank.
yeah.
Blank. Blank. Blank.
Pay attention, dang it. Let me see. All right, here we go. I'm gonna do something really stupid.
S. E. Y. S. A. E. Blank. Blank. What is night? N. M. Manager. Enter. Copilot is preparing your response.
I asked it.
Copilot is still processing your request.
Shut up. I asked it the question. Don't interrupt me, Joe.
Copilot is still processing your request. Copilot is still processing your request. Copilot has completed the response. Knight Manager is a voice-controlled medieval RPG played through Amazon Alexa where you act as a manager of a single knight and guide them from a weak recruit to a powerful hero. The game blends simulation, RPG progression, and resource management, all controlled entirely by spoken commands. Shield. Core concept. You don't play as the knight, you play as the manager. Your job is to make decisions, send your knight on missions, upgrade their gear, and keep them alive and improving. The knight fights, hunts, explores, and levels up based on the commands you give. Crossed swords. What you can do in the game. Players guide their knight through a wide range of activities. Bullet combat and arena battles. Duel other knights. Join tournaments and climb the honor leaderboard. Bullet Dark Tower and boss fights. Team up with other players to fight Azrael and his minions in the Dark Tower. Bullet Dark Forest hunts. Hunt orcs, wolves, trolls, and even dragons to earn loot and hunting points. Bullet Daily Adventures. Random encounters with rogues, ruffians, and other dangers. Bullet upgrades and crafting. Visit the blacksmith shop, hunting lodge, and tavern to improve weapons, armor, skills, and resources. Bullet resource management. Manage gold, diamonds, servants, arrows, traps, and backpack items. Military medal. Progression and rankings. Knight Manager includes several ranking systems. Bullet honor leaderboard for combat performance. Bullet hunting leaderboard for Dark Forest success. Bullet order rankings for guild-like groups. Bullet seasonal resets that introduce new features and challenges. Your knight levels up, gains skills, and unlocks new abilities as you continue to manage them. Speaking head and silhouette. How you play. Everything is done through voice commands such as Bullet fight, Bullet adventure, Bullet Dark Forest, Bullet blacksmith, Bullet my gold, Bullet search for player name. You can link your Amazon account to keep your knight persistent across devices. Earth Globe Europe Africa community and extras. The game has an active community with Bullet A dedicated chat system, Bullet player search tools, Bullet multiplayer challenges like Troll Cave and Ghost Cliffs, Bullet A full website showing your knight stats, fights, inventory, and more. If you want, I can break down how to get started, how to build a strong knight, or even explain specific sets like the Luck of Fortune you asked about earlier. 12312344341 www.knightmanager.com 2 Knight Manager Alexa skill fandom.com free Amazon 4 Knight Manager Alexa.
So yeah, that's a game that you can play if you have an Echo device. You can play it on your phone. Google it if you're interested, Knight Manager. But you could also ask follow-up questions, as you heard. Apparently, I had a history. I asked it about one of the items in there. Did you hear that, bro?
No, see, I wasn't hearing anything on this end. I think your JAWS is muted or you've got it routed different.
Ooh, I really hope it'll come out on the show. So, okay.
It's going to be there on your end.
So yeah, you could do follow-ups. All I did was type in Knight Manager and it just told me everything about Knight Manager.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me
But-
see here. Let me use another one. Speaking of AI, so everyone is using AI, even Freedom Scientific. So, guys, let me bring up what they call the AI companion, and I'll tell you when I'm done since you can't hear it.
All right.
Hello, I'm excited to help you learn more. Switch to dark mode button. New conversation button. Switch to dark mode. Vespero companion document. Switch to new converse. Hello, I'm excited to help you learn more. Type your question here. Edit.
So I'm gonna add a box for the AI companion,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna type in just something really simple. How
How do
do
I
I
R
read
the
the
title
title bar?
bar? Enter. How do I read the title bar? To have JAWS read the title bar of the current window, press the following keystroke. Insert key. This command will read the title of the active window. The insert key is also known as the JAWS key, and on some keyboards you can use the caps lock key as the JAWS key for the setup that way.
Okay, so it just told us, insert T or press your caps lock key if you have it set that way for
Night Manager game mode.
your JAWS modifier key. So that's
Yeah.
one example of
Good.
AI. So Flavius is going to show y'all what he does with the Alexa on the Echo
Okay.
device.
Vespero companion.
Okay.
Zoom meeting.
Now,
My notes is
what
off
we
button.
got here is an Amazon Echo, and I'm not going to call
He's on
this
demand.
lady A by name because I don't want to wake up every
Title is Zoom meeting.
Amazon Echo in the listening area. But you have what's called an action button on the top of the Echo, and I will press that, and I will open a client. This is a
10:34 a.m.
ChatGPT AI client, and she's going to tell us a little bit about who she is and why she's here. So bear with me. So here we go. Open ChatGPT.
Thank you for subscribing to the skill. As part of your subscription benefits, we're introducing a beta feature that enables the GPT model to search the internet for information. As always, you're using the latest GPT model. Would you like to get started now?
Yes.
What do you want to chat about?
How many different species of elephants are there?
There are 3 living elephant species typically recognized: African bush elephant, African forest elephant, and Asian elephant. Some sources split elephants into 2 African species or 3. I can check the latest taxonomy if you want. Want me to look up current consensus?
That's all right. Thank you very much, and goodbye. Now, as you see,
You're welcome.
I
If you ever
just
want the latest
asked her.
taxonomy, I
Oh,
can check
see,
for you.
she's not
Have a great
finished.
day and goodbye.
She's determined for me to have a great day. They even they try to build in courtesy, but what we've got here is a program that's got access to all these facts and figures. So I asked her, how many different kinds of elephants are there? And she comes back and says there are 3. But you can get real specific about stuff. Now I'm going to open her up again and show you something. We're not going to do this today because it would take a long time. But one time I had to delete the operating system off of a Mac and reinstall it. And I actually got detailed instructions. And I'll just show you the beginning of this because it would take longer than you're going to want to listen. But we're going to open her up again and watch this. Open ChatGPT.
Thank you for subscribing to the skill. As part of your subscription benefits, we're introducing a beta feature that enables the GPT model to search the internet for information. As always, you're using the latest GPT model. Would you like to get started now?
Yes.
What do you want to chat about?
Show me how to delete and reinstall the Mac operating system Sequoia on a 2018 Intel configured Mac Mini using the VoiceOver screen reader. She's thinking.
Here's a concise plan you can follow with VoiceOver. Note, Sequoia availability can vary by model. I'll tailor if you confirm your current OS. Options: quick boot and reinstall, step-by-step with VoiceOver speaking tips. Would you like the full step-by-step with exact keystrokes and recovery screen guidance?
Yes.
Great. Here's a fast, VoiceOver-friendly path to erase and reinstall Mac OS Sequoia on your 2018 Intel Mac Mini. Before you start, back up your data with Time Machine. Would you like a very granular keystroke map for each screen, recovery, disk utility, setup assistant?
Yes.
Here is a granular VoiceOver keystroke map for each screen.
Granular.
Recovery mode, Mac OS utilities, turn Vo on, Command F5, move focus, Control Option right/left, activate focus item, Control Option space, quit/go back, escape, shut down, power button or hold power until it shuts. Disk utility erase,
Enough. But as you see, you can take that and get super super into it. If you want, you can also get some to write the stuff down for you. You can get it emailed to you. So some of this AI is very helpful to us. We've got it built into like the Meta glasses that we've talked about, and it can really be a big help sometimes. You can get it to take something that you read with a camera, like on your phone or your Meta glasses, and describe the picture, alter the picture sometimes if you want to have a little fun. So, yeah, there are a lot of different ways we can use AI, and we're going to find out more when our guest comes shortly.
So I heard it say subscription. So when I hear the word subscription, you're paying for something, right? So
I am, yeah.
not
Yeah,
I'm saying, and generally speaking,
yes.
You want to clarify / elaborate for those that don't know what's popping with this. So how much does a person have to pay for that ChatGPT subscription? Or does
that is like
with your Prime?
That's like a couple of dollars a month. No, that is not free with Prime. And it also bears mentioning that if you upgrade to the Amazon Echo's Lady A+, we'll call her, this goes away because there's a little bit of competition now between the different AI clients. There's ChatGPT, there's Gemini, there's Claude, there's Amazon's Lady A that I'm trying.
I'm just laughing because you said competition. Competition is World War AI.
It is. And see, a lot of people get a little bit nervous about that, and they wonder what's going on with that. So it is certainly a hot topic. You're always seeing stuff like in the big papers, the New York Times, every day.
Man, people use AI like hotcakes, bro. Like one of the homies that I talked to, a fellow beat maker, I'm like, damn, bro, you wrote a 20-page paper? He's like, hell no, AI did. I'm like, you're gonna get busted for that, right? He's like, no, man, there's tools that I can use to hide the fact that AI was not used. I'm like, okay, best of luck, my friend.
Good for you, because my daughter teaches high school history. And, these people are supposed to be gifted and talented. Like it's like the International Baccalaureate program. So these people are supposed to be serious about history. And she has already busted several kids for doing just that, like using AI to write their papers. And now he may have tools to fix it up. And there probably really are hacks that you can use to do stuff like that. But the history teachers are in hot pursuit of all those hacks because they're trying to stay one step ahead of students. And, you can see that there's a danger. Like if you got a machine that does all your thinking for you, you're going to forget how to think. And they used to make all kinds of dystopian, like science fiction shows about where people had lost the use of everything. They just lay around and ate and slept all day. And while that sounds kind of appealing, it wouldn't be after a while. But yeah, there are a lot of concerns about AI, but overall, it strikes me as beneficial. I mean, you got to make responsible choices about anything, be it AI or basically whatever.
It's use it, don't abuse it type thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Like anything. But yeah, you've got at the Google search bar, you've got Gemini. I've seen that thing write fairly substantial programming scripts, and you just get the opportunity to copy it to the clipboard. Then you paste it to your file, and that thing belongs to you. You can do whatever you want. And some people are concerned that like programmers are going to be out of a job shortly, and who knows?
Hey, man, I might be. I used to joke about that before Freedom Scientific came out with their AI version for JAWS. I'm like, you guess you don't need me anymore.
Yeah, just have that thing teach. I don't think so, though, because there is, like with classroom instruction, there is a specifically human element that goes into that. And if there's not a person like as what would you call it, like a proctor or something like that, just making sure everything is going on like it should be, that's not going to happen. I don't think there will ever be a situation where a kid just goes into school and is taught by machinery. But we do use it a lot.
Can't lie. I can't lie. I use AI sometimes to make me lessons for my students.
Yeah.
Because, I've had a long week. Oh, man, I forgot to do a lesson plan for Fred. So, because all my kiddos, man, they're all at different levels, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's pretty on point, though. I just be like, hey, this is, create a lesson plan on how to create place markers and delete place markers instead of, I should know that, like, by memory, but hey, man, when you're tired,
Exactly. And that's using it as you suggested earlier. It's using it and not abusing it. And in a way, it's wonderful to have the stuff because it can make a lot of information a lot more concise and therefore a lot more accessible. So it's not altogether a bad thing.
I had a recent situation happen. I gifted someone a computer and I spoke to the guy who sent it out and he blames it on AI, why things are getting lost.
Yeah.
What do you think? You agree with that? Do you think AI
I don't know.
is affecting the delivery service?
I don't know, because AI is not driving the truck. It maybe it is. Maybe there's something in the like creation of the labels and all that stuff that goes on the front end, but I don't know exactly how that could be the fault of AI. Because at some point, like I say, it gets down to human hands, people identifying parcels on trucks, loading them up, offloading them. So it would be hard for me to see how that could be the fault of AI, but you never know.
Yeah, I mentioned the guy's name in a prior show, a young man by the name of Brian. Well, he's younger than you, but older than me. And he thinks everyone who believes and worships AI are fools because AI is just a robot and not human.
Well, but it's not even being billed as human. It's artificial intelligence. I'm sorry. Artificial means created by artifice. In this case, humans. They built it. They somehow figured out a system that could learn and store the information it learned and use it again. And we'll find out more about that in a few minutes. But no, it's not human any more than a car is human or, your washing machine, whatever you got going on. But it can save a lot of labor and it can make a lot of work go a little faster.
What do you use AI for?
Now, I love history. And when I'm reading along in all these ancient history sources like Herodotus, he was a Greek guy who's reckoned by some to be the father of history in the West. So if I'm reading along and I hear a place name and I go, where is that? Bucephalus, never heard of that. I can stop whatever it is I'm reading, if it's an audio book or something on Bookshare, and then I can open up that ChatGPT client, just like I was showing you earlier, and go, where is Bucephalus? And more often than not, they get that kind of thing right. See, because that's a fact from the past that the machine would only have to learn once. It's not something that gets updated every few weeks or so. Like ancient history hasn't changed since ancient history. So AI in that case is a real readily available application for doing stuff like that because that stuff is always going to be there. And, you had mentioned like 2 or 3 weeks back that you are Cambodian. And one day after talking to you, I started looking up the history of Cambodia on my ChatGPT client. And I found out that at one time, the Khmer Empire extended into southern India and stuff. This was all stuff I didn't know. And it's stuff that we don't get taught in the United States in our history education, because when I was coming up, that was reckoned as like somewhere far away, and they teach us more the history of the United States and its immediate involvement in the world. But you can go back with these AI tools and find out things you don't know if, like me, you're into history.
Yeah, because if you don't know, you don't know.
Don't know, you know.
You
That's
know?
right. You got it. That's right.
I gotta plug that in every chance I get.
Good.
I'm gonna try to make it a shirt for the podcast. You think it?
That would be good. Yeah.
You
Just
think-
have a man, have an old man, preferably, since this is me, scratching his head. And then he could say that. If you don't know, you don't know,
Yes, sir. So yeah, coming up around the corner, we got Sun Kim. We're
Good.
just waiting on him to come through. And yeah, we hope you guys find, you guys let us know what you all think about AI. You got the old school versus the new school. I use it for convenience. Like I said earlier, it tripped me up when I was looking up information about Goldwave, gave me incorrect, out-of-date keystrokes.
And it can, specifically for computer stuff, it always behooves you to kind of check your work. And then I've had it like one time now, I'm a big collector of what people call eclectic music or older rock music that was maybe never that famous. So there's this group, Roxy Music, and I was looking them up. They have a song called Avalon, Avalon. And I asked ChatGPT about that song, and then I said, where else does Avalon appear in popular music? And they gave me a couple of Celtic songs that were right on the money, about the ancient priestesses of Avalon and all this stuff. But then she branches over into the word avalanche, which looks a lot like Avalon, but has nothing whatsoever to do with Avalon. So at some point, that AI client was just using part of a word and linking it up to things that really had no connection to Avalon. So you do have to, it behooves you to check your work before you just dive in.
Did you say behoove?
It does. It behooves you. It behooves you to check your work.
I don't know why I like that sound of that word. It's like the word exude.
Yeah. Behoove is one of those older words that, kind of gets short shrift nowadays.
What was that phrase that you mentioned? Because you and I, we make fun of the new generation, the next generation.
Yeah.
You told me in a text message, I just started laughing. Because folks, what I'm talking about is some people say it is what it is.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it is what it is. And then, I think the one you're talking about is, I was responding to you and I said, I know.
Oh,
and then I said,
right?
as they used to say, I know, right? Because anytime you turn on afternoon TV, there's some talking head talking to another talking head, and someone is saying, I know, right?
Oh my gosh, man! Especially like when they abbreviate it, like You gotta understand my jaw's Iker, IKR question mark. I'm like, can
There
you
you
just
go.
spell the damn word?
Really? Really? Or say something.
I know,
Even
right?
better than that. Yeah. Seriously.
That's
Yeah,
another
see.
one we poke fun at.
Yeah, you could carry that one on all day.
But I'm guilty of it though too. You've seen it, bro. I'd be like, you'd be like, what you doing right now? I'm like, RNIM.
Yeah. Well, there's a certain amount of stuff you got to put into a conversation to make it flow. Otherwise, we would be little better than artificial intelligence.
I know
Just-
what y'all. Some of y'all thinking you old geezers. You get in touch. Y'all out of touch. Get up to date. Nah, it's just. Do you write like that when you write your papers?
They might.
And they pass you still? You kidding me?
That's right. They're kicking them upstairs. That's what it is.
Oh, they need to put them in that chamber that we just came out of earlier. That's what they need to do.
There you go.
But yeah, man,
Yeah.
I hope y'all, like I said, I've been enjoying the guests that we've had. Well, I'm still working on some more. As Flavius was talking, I was conversing with a potential guest coming up, and you know who he is once I mention the description. Well, you don't know him, but
I don't know.
you know of him because of what we do.
Yeah.
He's because this show is all about people, getting there. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be college degrees or employment, but he's worked before. He's not working anymore because he's staying at home to take care of his wife that has cancer,
Yeah.
and he's vision impaired and hearing impaired. I am as well, but apparently, from what I'm understanding, his hearing impairment is way worse than mine. So I want to pick his brain about, the grind, so to speak. And I respect the fact that he left the workforce to take care of his wife.
Yeah. Well, I do know who you mean, and I hope he will choose to come on and visit with us.
Yeah, he said it was cool, but apparently he lost his voice, and I'm like, yeah, man, because he's too busy yelling at that A lady. I said, aim sharp.
There you go.
If you guys play the game, you know what I'm talking about. And I'll plug Night Manager here and there because some of us play it, and some of the beat makers that I had in the past, they used to play that game, and then they left because they got rich and bought PS5s, right?
Yeah.
I don't like that game, bro. It's too redundant. All you do is say yes, 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 yes. People get the wrong idea. I'm like, you don't have to say on there. I'm not going there, but to each their own.
Yeah.
People
and leave mine alone. Exactly.
People want to complain about things that are not accessible, and then when you find something that's accessible, like that game, for example, I don't know. They can go in circles. Well, I have a right to my opinion. Of course you do.
Yeah.
It's a no-win-win.
And
so it is what it is, man.
there you go. At the end of the day, all I'm trying to tell you is that I'm just saying, at the end of the day.
I know, right?
Seriously. See, we could do this for an hour and never be saying a word.
I'm trying to think, because I got youngins, my daughters are 18, 20, and 22.
Yeah.
The one that, I don't even it's like texting. What was that one that somebody typed to me? WBU, I think. Have you seen that?
No. I'm kind of scared to ask you what that is.
I don't remember. I wrote back. I'm like, what in the blue hell does that? What? Huh?
WBU. I have no idea.
That sound like a local channel on your TV?
Yeah.
Welcome to WBU.
Details at 11. Yeah.
Welcome to WBU, where the blind pursuit resides. I don't know, but what you been? I just don't know what the U stands for. So anybody listen, if WBU, if that rings a bell, that LMK, okay?
That's right. Save us from ourselves and let us know.
Yeah, so is Sun Kim knocking on the door yet?
Hey, I'm here. Thanks.
There he is. Thank you. Thank you for coming today.
First and foremost, how's it going, sir? This is Kim Sport, and that's my artist name, not my government name. But how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Thanks for the invite and thanks for having me here.
Well, off the record, I want to thank you for getting that computer to our mutual friend yesterday.
Yay! That's right.
That was an accomplishment for sure.
Indeed. Very good.
So this show's all about, talking to the masses, educating the masses, and about blind folk, right? Because I think I told you off the record that, a majority of people, if not everybody, they kind of got this perception of the blind, right? Like, you got a degree, you can raise kids, you can go to the bathroom, kind of thing, So how I'm tying it back to that with the computer thing, and then we'll jump into the main course here. Did you just walk out the door, hop on the bus, and go to the post offices all over? Or how did you locate it? What was your journey like?
Well, no, though, problem solving had to be done. We had to locate where the system was. The initial location was incorrect. There was some mix up or something. I arrived. I'm using Uber now.
Okay.
Being on the bus doesn't make any sense if I'm going to be carrying packages. But at any rate, I had arrived, and the person said that the package was not there. It's not their package, and so they provided an address, and I, had to expend more resources. And there's something called a blind tax that a lot of people know of, but don't realize that it is a form of a tax. And that simply means that we pay more simply because we have to get accommodation or for conveniences or however, just to get things done, we have to pay extra, whether it is in products, equipment, or services. And in this case, if I had a car or something, I can easily hop and stop in multiple destinations. But as it is, you pay this extra fee or what have you, you go to the destination. That's just the way things work for everyone who's visually impaired. And, so at the end of the day, the system was acquired and it was good. But people don't give clear directions, and the difficulty in life exponentially is made difficult when directions are not clear or correct.
So with some of our guests, if not all, we like to dig into the history. And if there's anything you don't feel comfortable answering, feel free to not answer, but don't, just say I don't want to answer that. So if it's silent, I'm going to think like I lost connection or something. But
yeah.
How long have you been, you're vision impaired or are you blind?
Yeah, I'm totally blind. I've been totally blind for practically all my life, let's just say. Yeah, so since I was 1.
Okay. So when it comes to your environment, like your family, your friends and all that, were you treated differently? Did people treat you like you were like some disease? Like, what? You're blind?
Yeah, well, that's the usual case. You get perceived differently. You get thought of differently. You get it seems to be more than just a mindset. It seems to be a universal thing. I'm still trying to figure out what is it, because it's not like it's unique though. If it was unique, and I give an example. Let's say a person is raised in America and they see certain, you're a witness, like you're just witnessing how society is working.
Yeah.
And you observe how blind folks just are treated throughout the whole country in all regions. And I'm not saying everyone treats a blind person this way, but everywhere a person has a high probability of being treated this way. And this way is the distant classification of secondary class. And secondary class simply means that you are perceived subpar to the benchmark that is expected when you don't have that condition. So having the condition of being blind, more than stigmatizes, it immediately renders in a sighted person, the average sighted person's mind, helplessness. Things that they can't do X, Y, Z. So naturally, you have to, you meaning sighted person, have to exert some sort of energy, helpful energy. Now, however, that result is a different story. So me growing up, I'm always been perceived as just different, but less. And if I can do anything mundane, it's perceived as amazing. It's crazy. So I wasn't one to linger though, meaning I didn't stay around the home. I left as soon as I was 18, and it wasn't exactly great. I didn't have everything set. I didn't know what the horizon held, but that didn't matter. What mattered for me is that I had to learn. I had to grow up. I had to take the hits and
Right, and make mistakes too,
make
right?
mistakes all the time. Take the punches. The punches will come, and they will come in most unexpected areas too. And so I flow through this life where I'm recognizing things, and you have to, and you then sort of just flow to the areas where you are sure of, because by this time you left your house, you took all these hits, made all these mistakes. And I'll continue to make mistakes. Everybody will continue to make mistakes, but the mistakes we make will be improving. Like it more or less opens up the areas of higher improvement because you have the basics and the stuff behind you.
So when you talk about leaving at 18, that kind of reminds me of my story. Like, when I was 19, I graduated high school when I was 19, right? And I just left because my family, I'm Cambodian, if you didn't know. They just didn't think, I couldn't do nothing. But so I just dipped. But I'll be on the real though, I dipped because of a woman, but on that same token though, I dipped because I had to go out there and see what I was made of. You know what I'm saying? And you're talking about making mistakes. I'm going to make mistakes, but I'm going to correct them though too. I'm going to own up.
But see, that's been a common theme that we've run into. Like today, we're ending up on this one again, that a lot of us almost have to leave. We have to, in some fundamental way, dissociate from the family so that we can be allowed to begin living as ourselves, whatever that means. Because when Sun was talking, I thought about what you have said and what other of our guests have said. We kind of get that there's almost an implicit assumption that you're a teeny tiny bit mentally off because you don't see. And that kind of thing is real hard to work around with people that have, I guess, been with you since you were a baby. So it's interesting, though, that almost all of us have had to kind of make an odyssey before we start our own life. It's pretty consistent with a lot of the stories we hear.
So let me. Oh, go ahead, Son. You have something?
I was going to piggyback on that and said that that theme actually is more general and more universal than we think. It falls under the premise of you can't be a hero in your own hometown, right? You can't be
Yeah.
you just simply can't. So
I like that. Can't be a hero in your family. Let me dip into your education though, because I've been advertising this episode as Sun Kim, Mr. AI. What led you? First of all, it's a 2-part question. Okay, 2-part question. What was your education like, and what led you to the AI thing?
my education really isn't anything to write home about. It's actually I have no college degree. I've attempted college quite a few times, so it's not for lack of trying. And it's just one of those environments where I just it's not a stubbornness. It's not a stubbornness. It's like a feeling of high school and discomfort and the whole environment thing. There's got to be a better way than just subject myself again to the same old stuff, even if it's community college. Even if I were to walk into 4 years, the first 2 years, I still gonna have to, do all those basic stuff again. That's, however, I graduated with like pre-calculus and honors, a couple of honors and some advanced stuff in high school. But, none of that is just, I don't attribute any of that to knowledge, believe it or not. It's just the education. Okay, the content in the book does not necessarily get delivered by the educator. So
Yeah. So the system didn't exactly address your learning style with the content.
Right. So,
and that's a very nice way of putting that.
All right, man. So let's get into the main crux of this, because I've been excited about this, man, bro. I see you on Facebook sometimes popping up about AI and all this and that. How did you get into it? And the main thing here is how would AI benefit the blind community?
Okay, I'm gonna address both.
So
there's two parties.
The floor is yours.
All right, thank you. I'm gonna address this in like 2 parts, right? The pro and the con, and I can see both sides. And I'm deep in the weeds of AI. When I mean deep in the weeds, I mean, if you were a mechanic, you're under the car, you're twisting bolts, you're getting oil splash. I'm in there in the weeds of AI. So, and I'm totally blind. I'm using a screen reader. I'm doing all those things. But a couple of things here. We, in general, as a society have been using AI for quite some time. We just don't know it. It just doesn't announce. It doesn't scream, "Hey, you're using AI." Before what we know now as generative AI, that's a different. It's a different approach and a different rendering. Ever since Google put out something called Transformers, and that's basically, in simple terms, taking an input and making it so that the AI can understand what you put in there contextually, and then it then pays attention, and then it responds to you with a probabilistic way. So, like, for example, simple way to look at it is if you put "the sky is," and then you hit enter and you expect an answer, or "what is the sky?" or "the sky is what?" And the probability of the sky being black is quite low. The sky being magenta is, I'm pretty sure, even lower. Blue has a much higher probability. So likely it's going to pop out, "the sky is blue." So that's basically simplifying it to how the modern generative AI works today. But before we used AI, we used GPS, we used all that stuff in there. There's definitely AI processed in that. There's no way we could have handled that manually. And one could say it's all scripting and stuff. Well, sure. AI back then was like scripting back and forth in a way. You make a phone call, you get that automated system, and it's talking back and forth to you. That's AI. But someone had to do a question answer pair and stuff like that. That's very meticulous AI. But ever since the transformer came about, they didn't have to do that anymore because now it allows on probability. And of course, in doing that, it also introduces something called hallucination. So going back, I started at GPT-3. So back in 2021, I had a friend told me about ChatGPT, and I was like, I'm going to check this out and see what's it all about. And hopped on the website and I started playing around with it. It was all about prompting, and I was like, this is quite interesting. And it was basically history. I started accelerating fast, producing code, pushing the limits, seeing what it can or can't do. Back then, it was like the wild, wild west where guardrails didn't quite exist, and you could really push it. And then they started putting on guardrails, and that was the fun part. Learning how to outsmart the
jailbreak. Yeah.
Yep, that was quite entertaining, and it kept progressing and progressing. And then I started thinking, well, a lot of people is going to use this for whatever, and I see it. They use it for entertainment, and they use it for XYZ, what have you, to solve this problem or that problem. And this was along the time when Be My Eyes got AI. ChatGPT 4 incorporated around 2022, 2023, around that time. And then you had Seeing AI having more and more AI products incorporated into it. And it also used ChatGPT 4. And then, Google got their butt smacked around a bit. They had something, but it wasn't all that great at the time. And when OpenAI popped out, by Sam Altman, that's really let the cat out the bag, so to speak. And everybody else started scrambling, say, oh, snap, this wasn't meant to. They had this in their laboratory for some time. Don't get me wrong. This not like all of a sudden, boom, poof, this whole AI stuff just came out. No, they had it for years. They were playing with it, like ChatGPT 1, 2, what have you. And then Altman just made that decision. Like, for some reason, there was a mutual understanding. Let's not let the public know about this yet. It's just a deep secret, so to speak, in the industry. And Sam broke that. Things came in a race. Gemini back then sucked, really. It wasn't Gemini. It's, I forget that name now. Bard, I think. Bard then transitioned to Gemini, and Gemini still sucked until around 2.5 version. That's when it really started to hammer the competition. But for me, I used the web interface a lot. Copy and paste. I did a lot of that before. Vibe coding was vibe coding. I was vibe coding way before vibe coding was a thing. And this is not to say that, I'm just literally going at it fresh, no knowledge. I took Java in like 2000 or so. So I had programming background, and I was looking at these codes, and to know that I can program into a language that I don't even know, but just looking at it and seeing the flow of the code looks pretty okay. it sucked. Don't get me wrong. Back then, the code, when there was programming, there was a lot of issues.
Yeah.
But I knew it was a matter of time. It was just going to get better and better. So I had to decide in my life, wait, this is going to be something. This is never going to go away. This is going to be a tool that will crush the economy. Vocationally, real quick, I'm a assistive technology instructor. And I've been in that industry for 23 plus years ongoing.
Oh, wow.
And me being as technical as that, I know that this industry, that industry as it is going to be non-existent. There has to be a shift in a paradigm to AT training. And that's because of AI and what it's possible. Today, even today, for the public, the name OpenClaw has been very famous and flowing around, even in the mainstream media. We're talking about this OpenClaw.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of
structure. Yeah. But OpenClaw is just, don't even think of OpenClaw as anything, actually. That's not even important. The important thing is the concept. The concept behind OpenClaw, once packaged into a way where the public can consume it most conveniently, boom, reality will change.
Yeah.
Reality as we know it will change. You will have the Jetsons. You will have the full-on experience of whole AI and the simulation. Now, why am I so convinced? Well, here's the concept. You have a structure, not even an LLM. It's a framework, right? And then you can pop in any brain. That's what LLM basically is a brain. You have a car, drop in any engine. So OpenClaw is this open framework where you can put in any brain. It will form agents, what's called, agents, otherwise known as workers, or however way you want to word it. It does something. The chat before, as we know it before on the website, it's just a question and answer, back and forth. You need to know something, it tells you. It just tells you. It gives you instruction. That does nothing. Agents does things, actually executes, actually browses the website for you, clicks on elements, fills in forms, goes to your website if you need it, goes to your email, sort through it. It actually takes action. And the most advanced one we have now is by Claude Computer Use, Claude Computer. And right now it's okay in terms of how it's packaged. But once like I said, once you have this concept and it has memory, it will remember what you've done, what you've said. Not today, not next week, but it's a quote forever memory kind of thing, as long as you have disk space. But the whole concept is you have a device or you have a way of activating or talking to your agent. Hey, I need you to complete this task. Here's a list of tasks I need you done. Before, if you had a business or whatnot, you have someone working with you, you do the same to your assistant. Here's a list of tasks. I need you to get it done by X amount of date. So now everyone, whether you have, vocation or whatever, you're home, you're a mom, you're a student, now you can have that assistant. Then you don't have to pay other than whichever subscription if you're using the cloud-based. So AI stands to change for the blind, makes it so the future I see is what I coin blind autonomy. What's blind autonomy? Blind autonomy is when you're able, through augmentation, either glasses or earpiece or what have you, able to move about the environment without the assistance of a sighted individual from point A to point Z, including the last yard. So what's the last yard? The last yard is like today. You hop in the Uber, get out, Uber, you get to the door, boom, Uber's gone. Now you have to find, if it's a restaurant, you have to find the counter, or you have to find a person. That's the last mile, right? The last yard, the last mile.
Yeah.
That's the last step. And today, that's always been a problem. We solved the major problem of commute, of getting this or that, but the last mile is always the issue. Whether it is going somewhere, whatever, it's even buying a product. You buy a box, a product or whatever, a table, a desk, and you still got to put it together. Oh man, put it together as a totally blind person, man.
Yeah.
It's a rough puzzle, but that's the last mile, right? And then so that's going to be the beauty. Listen, you have this. The video stream is going to be live or real time. The technology and the hardware is going to be there. Solid state battery, what have you, for life duration. And it's going to process so fast and let you know real time, however much verbosity you want. Like if you want everything said, stop signs, a cat just walked by you, what have you. But having all that in a combination of vibration or whatever haptic way you want to receive your information, that's blind autonomy. And that's what we stand to gain with AI. Now, yeah, there's a lot of naysayers. This is part two, a lot of naysayers. AI is going to take over our jobs. AI is going to make us all lazy. We're going to not have creativity and this and that and 1,000 things. Just always, for every progress, for every change, for every paradigm of reality, there's always going to be a pushback. And that's just the universe, I guess.
Yeah, because it's been that way. It's been that way with radio and television and even the initial advent of computers. There have always been naysayers like what you're talking about.
Yes. So I'll land with this. Sorry, I'll land with this. AI is a tool, and like a hammer, how well versed you are with that hammer is going to make all the difference. Because in average, a hammer means a nail in a board. That's basically what it means. That's what it means to me. But to a carpenter, man, that carpenter can do amazing things with that hammer.
Yeah.
So the AI, again, it's going to be a very powerful tool. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be the most best technology and the worst, depending on how it's used. So the more the powerful tool is, the more the pendulum can swing. That's basically it. Like this is why we don't want certain actors having nukes. This is why we don't sell submachine guns at Walmart. This is certain things.
Common sense, kind of. Yeah.
So use it. We do need regulation with the AI. I do agree with some regulation, like to protect certain age groups or to protect certain vulnerable groups. Like if you have some mental matters you have to deal with, do not do that with ChatGPT. And I've been hearing that people using that for psychology and this and that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, knowing how AI works, that's horrific.
Yeah. And plus, you'd be dealing at that point with an emotional intelligence. And I don't think AI has done much of anything to try to address that yet, because AI is about like perceivable reality, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's as it stands right now, it's all probability. It's literally it. It's literally just probability, likelihood of the user wanting this answer. So real quick, I'll just quickly explain how AI, how your input does it. And it's called tokenization. It takes your letters or words and they tokenize it. Tokenize it basically just means they assign a number to it, some sort of string random number. And each of that has numbers and they're unique. They're roughly 4 letters, 3 to 4 letters long is about a token, give or take. And that could mean a word. It could mean a letter. It could mean a prefix. It could mean a suffix.
Yeah.
It's just, but the way it does it is it puts together like these Legos or these puzzle pieces, and you have these tokens, and someone says, blank, blank wants to go to the store, and it can say dad, mom, whatever you want to put in there.
Yeah.
And the system is going to try to fill it in. Blank. What is probability of blank could be? It has to be a proper noun. It has to be this or that. So there's algorithms. There's layers and layers that it goes through. But at the end of it, it comes out guessing at the best. That's all it is. That's what probabilistic simply means. It's just guessing. And so if AI is at the end of the day really just a guess, and they have really good guesses, and they work on fine tuning those guesses. And a lot of times those guesses seem awesome. It seems great. It works. Hey, I do it all the time. I'm vibe coding all the time, and it works for me a lot. But at the end of the day, if we could just remember that right now, until there's a change, a paradigm, AI is a bunch of guessing games.
Yeah.
I do have a quick question though. We never know who's listening, right? But as you know, son, that I am an independent rapper, and if somebody wanted to use AI for music, how does that work? What does that look like? I know there's something out there called Suno, right?
Yeah.
So you want to break down how does Suno work with AI?
Okay, so Suno is a framework like Udio and some other ones, like Google has Lyra now. I think Google is a model, but I think Suno uses a model. We don't know. I don't personally know if they actually do, which model they use. It's so closed, but it looks like it's a framework. Now, what they basically do, they've trained a model or fine-tuned a model to recognize instruments, recognize vocals, recognize timbre, rhythm, BPM, tempo, etc. All this whole factors that goes into music production and performance and rendering, mixing, and all that. So this entire algorithm that it does, and it takes an input, like whatever we want. You can do a general, describe a type of song you want with a topic. And if you're a meticulous person who speaks in music or somehow, you can type out the entire prompt with all the specifications. I don't do that. The second way is for a person to upload an audio to which the model will take that, basically do a rendition close to or something like it. And it takes other aspects like how you want, how your prompt is, what style of music you've chosen, a genre, and how you have specified certain things in your prompt. Also, in the prompt, there are flags or keywords that the AI will recognize and you put in there, such things as duet, female vocal, male vocal, chorus, verses, bridge, solo. You can specify all that in your prompt by flagging it or putting it into brackets. And then the AI will obey that and put that into the algorithm and produce for you a song, hopefully something that you'd like based on all of those entries. And the way I do it is I do many shots. So a shot is just an attempt, a shot. And there's no such thing as a one shot. kind of deal. See, this is what, there's a lot of times what naysayers about AI produced music or AI generated music. They say that it's, a person who's just prompting. They're just sitting there saying it. They're not really making their music. They're not an artist, et cetera, et cetera.
But it's still an opportunity to pass on a creative idea and get a result, right? Because it's your idea.
Exactly. And the way I see it is if subject A, me, didn't put in that, what would the output have been? You see, I have to drive that.
Yeah.
The person has to drive that creativity. So this is where I push back and they say a person's not creative because they use AI. Well, let me hear the song and I'll tell you if they put effort into it or not. You can really tell if a person has spent 50, 100, 150 shots and it takes a long time because you have to listen to every second of that song and make a judgment. Oh, I didn't like that note. Can I fix it, that note? Or do I have to prompt the whole new thing or generate the whole new thing to correct that one note?
Wow.
I'm going
to have to check that out. That's very interesting.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's give it a shot,
Are you saying though that like I could take, for instance, a guitar vocal demo and upload it and then provide other information in the prompt and possibly produce kind of a resultant filled out version of that song with like instrumentation and such?
100%.
Okay.
Here's what I do to give you an idea. I just hum the melody that I have in my head.
Yeah.
That's all I do. I hum it. I don't have an instrument. I mean, I could play a keyboard, but I'm too lazy. I just hum the melody and then upload it. And then I tell it what I want this melody to be in what instrument, etc.
Yeah. I think I feel a new project coming on. That's magnificent.
I've heard some of the stuff that Son has done. He's shared some beats that he's done, and it's dope. As a matter of fact, the intro song to this podcast is the one that he and I worked on. Actually, it was a beat that I made, and I'm like, I can't do nothing with this, man. Here, bro, put some chops on this, and you can have it.
Yeah.
But it was dope. Even though it kind of gave it to me, though. I don't know if you remember, Son, but to me, when I heard it, I'm like, he put some country twang on this hip hop beat.
Mixing it up a little.
It sounded cool, though. It sounded dope. But you got any questions for the man, Flavius?
No, that's a lot to absorb, but thank you, Son, for coming in. It's don't worry. You probably had to talk down to us a little bit, but that's fine. This has been very informative. I really appreciate it.
Oh no, I don't intend that at all. I just
no.
Hope to get folks on the idea that AI is a tool. And if we can shift the mindset to AI being a positive, useful tool to enhance our own lives instead of listening to naysayers or looking at it as cup half empty, we're doing ourselves a disservice for such an opportunity to take our own reality. I'm not just talking about an instant or an event of our life, an entire reality to improve through the use of AI. And it's very akin to the internet, the electricity. I can't live, I give Amish folks props. I can't live without electricity.
Yeah, I had that problem yesterday. My power was up and down. I know exactly what you mean.
So,
thanks for having me, man. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
But before we let you go, though, before we let you go, sir, we always like to have people plug anything that they have if they're working on anything. If you would like to help people with the AI, teach them whatever? Do you? I mean, if you don't have anything to plug, that's fine. But do you help people with AI though? Like, if you're willing to learn it and go, to the next level with it?
Yeah. So I take all my skills and experience as an AT instructor, and I've put a course and am training AI for folks who want to learn from beginner to however you want to get to like vibe coding and such. Every week for the next 4 weeks on Sunday, I am doing a live video on Facebook. For those, I may put it out in public, but the goal is to soon have a YouTube channel, and I'll keep you guys updated on that if you guys can.
Yeah, let us know.
Shoot out for me. And the YouTube channel, will be based on all this knowledge and on everything that I've learned from YouTube, viewing YouTube. And I literally have spent thousands of hours through the 3+ years, being immersed in this. And instead of, I'll be able to save folks all that time, and the bonus being in a screen reader use perspective with this YouTube channel.
So this podcast is going to come out way after your 4 weeks on Facebook. So can they catch it somewhere else if they miss it?
Yeah. So we'll definitely keep you updated on the YouTube channel, and that's where it will be posted. I don't have that yet, but that's what we're going to be putting out.
All right. Yeah, when you get that up and running, we'll put that in the show notes, and we'll share it, and blah 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 blah. Go on from there. But yeah, sir, thank you for your time.
Exactly. Thanks a lot. This has been very informative.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Have a good day, everyone.
You too.
You too.
Thanks.
All right, there we go. That's Mr. Sun Kim with artificial intelligence. What did you think, bro?
Well, it's a lot to absorb, but his take on it is essentially positive, and it does make you want to think about what he was saying. A few years ago, there was kind of a set of buzzwords floating around about paradigm shift, and you reach a point and then something really significant happens. Like he was saying, like right there at the end, like with electricity, like with the internet. And like when the internet first came up, I really almost experienced a second growing up, because like another of our guests was saying, all of a sudden I could do all kinds of independent research that I used to have to get help with from other people. And what Sun, I think, is suggesting is we're going to experience, or we're probably in process of experiencing, that same kind of thing with AI. It's going to alter a lot of the way we do things. And just as people might complain about the internet also does us a lot of good. I mean, if you think about it, that's how you and I know each other, is because of some application of the internet. And I think the same is going to be true with AI.
Talk to strangers. Mama talk.
That's right. And here you got mixed up with me, and now it's too late. Can't do anything about it. But
like I said before, man, once you go Brad, you can never go back.
That's right. It just gets more and more. But yeah, I came away from listening to that with kind of a more rosy assessment of AI. I'm going to have to pay a lot more attention
lie,
to
bro.
it.
I can't lie, man. When he was talking, I'm like, huh?
Well,
it was
I know.
way above my pay grade.
I know.
Like, what are you
that's
talking
why I
about?
mentioned to him. That's why I mentioned to him. I said, we didn't get all of this, but I think we got enough of it to start checking things out. And from what I hear, again, it's all going to be about sensible application of a tool. It's like he was giving the hammer analogy. A carpenter knows a lot to do with a hammer. The average guy knows a little bit to do hammer. Some of us know how to mash our fingers with a hammer. So we got to be a little more careful at first, but you can learn, you know.
Oh boy. So that was really fascinating, I will say.
Yeah, it was. Gave me a lot to think about, and I'm definitely going to be checking out that Suno. I was really intrigued with that. I'm glad you asked him that. Got him going on the music stuff because I've been curious about that.
No, I just wanted to see, like, no, not me, but I wanted the audience to know that, hey, it's one avenue you can travel when it comes to using Suno. And I was going to ask, well, maybe he answered it already, but I see it all over the internet. You ain't got talent. But, you know, he touched on that. You know, he was the one that
Yeah.
it. You know, you use AI
Yeah.
for your music. You ain't got no skill, blah, 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 you know.
But see, every generation experiences some sort of profound change, and their reaction to it is always the same. Well, it wasn't the same back when I was coming up. We did it this way.
Yeah,
And a lot of times we have the tendency, right or wrong, to go, well, it was better the other way. Well, maybe not necessarily, because like with that music, if what I was asking him, you know, I said, can I just take one of my guitar demos with vocals? Like I just sit there in my living room and record it and put it up there. And then via the prompt, say, I want this and this and this. I'm going to be checking that out. That's real interesting to me because that'd be like creating your own jam band, you know.
I like when he was talking about the humming thing. I'm too lazy.
Exactly. Yeah, I know. See, but there again, he's introducing the creative impulse from something in his head. He's humming and then developing that into a piece of music. So I'm sort of excited about that. It's like I told him, I feel a project coming on. I'm going to try that out.
Yeah, you got to share that with us, man. If you get
all right,
and...
if I get anything even half baked, which is likely, I'll let you hear it.
Well, you know, we all know each other, so I'm assuming he won't have a problem with you texting him privately and asking him. Like,
yeah,
hey, man. Hey, they'd be like, hey, man, I'm that old dude from the podcast.
Yeah, really. Yeah, he knows me. Yeah, but no, this is great. I really enjoyed that.
I can't remember. I think no, I don't, because I don't check on my Facebook a lot anymore. But I think he and I are friends on Facebook. But I don't know. I'll do a follow up. You know, especially with that YouTube page.
Yeah, because he mentioned the YouTube channel. Now, even old Flavius might be subscribing to that because that's kind of more my speed. But yeah, I might check that out.
And yeah, I'm gonna share it. You know, I'm gonna put in the show notes. You know, once it pops up. And again, folks, I'm not here to say I'm pro AI or not. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's things that we're sharing. I'm not gonna be here and be like, I'm down with it or I'm against it. That's just here's what we got. You guys try agree or disagree, whatever. You guys do whatever you guys want with it. So just like this show. So we hope you guys can do whatever you guys want with it, but I prefer.
But we want you to listen to it.
Yeah, I prefer you guys listen to it, like it, share it, all that good stuff. And again, guys, and we keep beating this into y'all, but it's kims4n@gmail.com. Your email address, bro?
My email address is Bradford, BRADFORD .Trainham, TRAINHAM @gmail.com.
Do you think AI could, like, you should know this, I should know this, but can AI just, hey, send Kims4n an email? You think,
oh yeah, it absolutely could do that. If you upgrade to the Lady A Plus, even though, as I pointed out, you might lose access to that ChatGPT client, Lady A can get you set up to work with Gmail. So you can just sit there and she becomes more like the virtual assistant at that point. But yeah, you certainly could do something like that.
Okay. Well, I'm old school, so I'll just type it out.
I know. Yeah. I want to use, I'm fond of all those exclamation points and ellipses and things. So I got to type mine out. ... Yeah. You love them.
Well, we love you guys and we appreciate you guys tuning in. Subscribe so you guys will be notified every time we drop something. And like I said at the jump, when you see those opportunities to donate, throw us a bone. We appreciate that.
Exactly.
All right. So we are out of here and we will see you guys down the road. Peace.
Don't do it for the money, don't do it for the fame. Some of y'all don't even know my name. I do this for my regulars, on the secular. Keep me on my toes feeling spectacular. Don't do it for the money, don't do it for the fame. Some of y'all don't even know my name. I do this for my regulars, on the secular. Keep me on my toes feeling spectacular. I'm carving out a lane where the echoes never fade. Pages of my past and the lines that I've laid. Let the record spin, hear the scratches in my soul. Every flaw, fingerprint that made the story whole. Not chasing any spotlights, I'm just chasing inner peace. Turning on my quiet moments to a vivid masterpiece. Got decades in these lyrics, every chapter intertwined. Soundtrack to the steps I took through every shift of time. So when the world gets loud and the pressure starts to rise, I breathe into the rhythm, let the truth materialize. I'm building something timeless in the margins of my mind. A resonance that lingers even when I leave behind. Don't do it for the money, don't do it for the fame. Some of y'all don't even know my name. I do this for my regulars, on the secular. Keep me on my toes feeling spectacular. Don't do it for the money, don't do it for the fame. Some of y'all don't even know my name. I do this for my regulars, on the secular. Keep me on my toes feeling spectacular. I wander through the moments that the world forgets to see, collecting all the fragments that still breathe inside of me. Every city left a rhythm, every detour left a clue, and I stitched them in my lyrics till the map became the truth. I'm loyal to the journey, not the flashing of the signs. Let the critics chase the numbers, I just follow all the lines. My voice is like a compass pointing where I feel alive. A traveler through eras with the melody to drive. Yeah.